Hi chat, how we doing tonight? Happy Sunday everyone. What's new? What's happening? Alright, let's make some coffee. I'm excited for tonight's dinner. Tonight's dinner is, I think tonight's going to be pretty epic at least as far as the food is concerned. We've got these beautiful short ribs that I've already started cooking. I got those started around 3 o'clock, and what's in there is 4 cups of water with bouillon and the marinade, the entire bag of marinade, so all of the marinade, along with the beef ribs. And so that's been simmering now for an hour and a half or so. And we're looking to do a bit longer than that. I'm going to add some more water to this though as we go to keep the liquid up for a little while. And I'm torn if I want to try and reverse sear these. Sometimes it looks pretty good, just you do a long cook on something even without it being in the oven, and sometimes it gets a nice looking crust to it. But we'll see, maybe I want to do a quick reverse sear on it. Gotta have the scale say hello to everyone. So we'll go ahead and add that water now to the beef. That's another 2 cups. That's about where it was when I started this project. Actually, it's a little bit lower than that, so we've already cooked off a little bit more than 2 cups of liquid. Hello, Ratty Patty. Hello, JK. Hello, Zahara. Hello, Noimu. Welcome in, everyone. Thank you, Festive. I have to make more coffee tonight. So I'm actually going to mute the mics here for a minute while I grind and let the kettle start up. Yes, I do have a lovely Old Vine Zinfandel for use tonight. We'll get into that actually not too far along. I'm going to mute for a minute or so here. Okay. Sorry that took a moment there. Hey, Lunar. I ground more coffee, right? Lovely. Mute for a moment again. At least you didn't get it off of my lav mic, it would have been even louder. Coffee. I say coffee when I'm thinking about making 2 different cups of coffee here, because we need more. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Cheers to you. Sort of like the last cup of the old beans. I'm working on a new batch of beans here for this. Next cup. Next cup, you say? Yes, next cup. We need coffee since I don't have an espresso machine for soaking our ladyfingers. I purchased them rather than making them. I know that my piping skills are... well, the tools that I have are not large enough. Don't flip that. Anyways, I'm not going to be making ladyfingers tonight for tiramisu. However, the coffee we're going to be using for soaking our little biscuits, pedophores? They're not pedophores, but they're made from basically a shootout. Regardless, I don't have pastry bags up to the task of, I think, making good ones. I just have the quick little disposable ones like I have on the counter here, which are great for like decorating small things, but for like actually piping things, yeah. Hi, Will. How's the vacation? Working on our second cup of coffee here for our biscuit soaking. Great. Good to hear that. Cutting board camera. Oh, I don't have voice attack running, do I? I hope that doesn't lag things. Cutting board camera. It's still not doing it. It's not listening to the right thing, I bet you. Cutting board camera. Alright, I guess we'll just select it with the mouse. We have beef braising. I'm just going to leave this in the glass and take the top off of it for now. We don't need it to be hot for this, I just wanted it to be fresh. In fact, I don't want it super hot. I would prefer it if it was actually below, I think it's like, I want it almost room temp. Actually, this will help do that. Pour that into it. Okay, first project. Decorating cookies. Well, after making extra cup of coffee. We have cookies from last time. I am doing sugar cookies with frosting that I am piping versus what they actually do in the restaurant is a shortbread with a stamp, like a dyed stamp, so it's got like a cute like chef, or for these it's got the whole thing nicely done with the question mark, and it's just like infused in the cookie. They might actually be doing like slabs with it decorated, like that would be a lot of work to do it that way. I don't think they are. They look cleaner than that. It's got to be a stamp or something. So I think we're going to take you off of this pile for the moment. And then we're going to put you right back onto this pile because this is not going to stay on there. And... ooh... no, we want these like this. Yeah. Yeah. Doing this off the cutting board, I know it means you can't see me doing it, but it's because I don't want the small pieces of plastic flying somewhere where I can't find them on the cookies. So I'm doing it right next to the other cookie here. Now these two are sort of fill. I could have gone bigger on those, yeah. Little off on that one. First one. So we need to start up a bit higher. Started too high there. I don't know if I want to do that with white. I just might just use. Actually, this will work pretty well. I have to be a little stingy with how much yellow I have here, so I'm doing a little spreading with a knife rather than piping it entirely. I'm questioning whether orange in the center was the smarter play, but I do have more of the yellow, which is sort of required for the fill. Yeah, it's like Grubhub. Hey, Froggy. And then we have to go for the ones that are a little bit drier for this. Uh-oh. Sacramento police are chasing someone, most likely. That's what that alert was. Yep, Proggy. I'm not going to make the little, there's a white they serve this with a white chocolate puck with a Toad logo that's actually strangely somewhat close to mine. That's something that they can make en masse, and keep for a long time since it's just chocolate, you know. It's a breeze for a resort or something to do that when they have a desserts crew or a pastry team. It's a little bit awkward doing it over the cookie. Got my hand in the orange. Now I'm just going in using a little bit of the leftover yellow. Try and fill anywhere where I had gaps. Trying to connect them as much as possible. Coffee. For the ladyfingers later. Cooling down to room temp. Okay, I think I'm going to go with those, chat. I don't think I'm going to call it there. They're going to settle and dry a bit more, but... let's use a pan. Nice, JK. I should pay more attention to the scramble than I have been lately. I mean, it's a great conversation starter. The some of the odd foods and odd items in it. That one could use a little more work. Okay, these are going to go hide in the other room where it's a little bit cooler and they can dry out a bit more, or rather they can dry out a bit more. Damn it. Didn't break one. Okay, what else are we doing tonight? Wine. Back in the fridge. Just in case. But it is time for vino. I'm not supposed to spin the bottle in proper wine service, but that's sort of a old wine thing where if you're serving an old wine, you shouldn't be turning it or disturbing the sediment from the bottom as little as possible. Yeah, I try to... well, the names and everything with wine change so often that... and some of them just last like a year or two. That really all I can really track is the local stuff, and I can't even really track that. I'm certainly no wine expert. I'm not going to the wine tastings or competitions or anything like that. So we're going to take some wine over on the stove. We're going to do a little more than that. That's a solid glass there. And we're only doing one serving of this. If they're doing this in the restaurant, they're doing a large batch and reducing it down. It's a lot easier. It's not only lots of options, but it's one of those things where if you've ever had, there's some pairings out there in the world or some food combinations in the world that can just like be memorable entirely all by themselves. Wine is really good at that. Every once in a blue moon, you get the perfect wine and food combo. And usually for me, picked out by someone else than myself. Not saying that I can't pair wine and food, but in my experience, that's a general thing for all of my food and everything I do, chat, where I'm never happy with anything I ever finish. Like, it can always be improved. It can always be better. It can always do this, that, the other thing. Why didn't I spend the extra 30 seconds doing that? So that ruins a lot of the food that I make versus stuff that other people serve me. Where'd my music go? I haven't mentioned this yet during this stream, but this smells absolutely amazing, by the way, chat. Like, it smells like I've had a giant beef roast in the oven. I'm not going to pour myself a glass just yet. We're going to wait on this until I finish my coffee and drink a little bit of this water that's getting warm. Alright, how we doing here on a flame? We got a really low flame underneath that. Okay. And then over here, we on the stove, good. I'm gonna melt down some chicken stock. I took this out just before stream started, so it's mostly not melted. I'm going to add actually a little beef bouillon to the chicken stock to make it sort of like a farmhouse stock, and use that for our polenta tonight. what else can we get started here? I guess we can chop up the mushrooms, and I think I'm going to do a little onion with the mushroom. Even though I don't think it's that way in the restaurant. I'm also not using the same mushrooms as they are in the restaurant. They are using more the traditional brown cremini, safe for all audiences, not like a 5-year-old, ew, what's that? Not that I think the 5-year-olds are ordering a short rib, but I think you get my point. I actually went out today like, okay, I'm going to go into one store, in and out. It'll be easy. They'll have everything. I was only running out for heavy cream, the ladyfingers, and maybe mascarpone, which is reportedly what the actual dairy is on this. I'm going to use sour cream though, but the only real difference there is sour cream is going to be a little bit thicker and it's cultured, whereas mascarpone is just full of fat, so it's really thick, but not as thick as sour cream. I really like the way this plate is done. This one also has an item on it that I can't really easily replicate here at home, and that is like the white chocolate medallion with the tiramisu tonight. This one gets a Parmesan crisp that's got a stamped die of Toad on it. Yeah, my computer is not. Well, I'm getting a couple. I've gotten one lost frame since I started talking about this. Hi, Nan Reader. Hi, Mafala over on Kick. That was a little while ago, though. Thank you for the follow. I'm always so late to getting to Kick alerts. Now the wine is overtaking the smells in the home. Oh, you're looking at the stove right now, aren't you, chat? Cutting board camera. And so I'm using my taki mushrooms for the sauteed mushrooms with this. Which will take the nice thinner pieces and allow them to be by themselves, and we'll fine chop the stems or the bases. We do want to break these up a bit though. It smells like booze in here. This is a knife I used to always do this with. The button mushrooms. It just looks faster. It's not as accurate. You don't hit it as many times. You don't get it as accurate. You don't get nice slices nearly as much. It looks cool though. Do a little more basting on our beef. I've got the bones on the bottom both because the bones will take the most to heat, and all the connective tissue that we want to get the most heat and the longest cook on is all going to be surrounding the bone. So keeping the meat towards the top where it's a little bit less hot. So the plan here is going to be cook these down and brown these, not necessarily caramelize them, but brown them. Add this into the party and brown these. Get the pan nice and sort of sticky. Oil it up nicely. And then throw these in there and give them a toss until these are just sort of cooked through. So we get the nice brown cooked flavor from these two. And these are just sort of lightly cooked. They're not overcooked, they're not rubbery, they're not... We sort of have to keep an eye on the red wine tonight, chat, because the idea is we want them to be as thin as possible. We want to reduce that down to next to nothing. We'll see how. I really like the look of this plate, chat. I really hope I can pull the look of this plate off because it so much resembles the head of Toad's red mushroom cap. Thank you, JK. And they still have at least another hour, hour and a half to go here. We could go even further with them. The minimum we want to do here is 6 o'clock with them. But if we're trying to truly replicate the restaurant, we're going all the way to 7, which... they're doing a 4-hour cook. Oh, that's why we're lagging. Because you're trying to do that video. Are you trying to do that video too? No? Okay. Oh, now we're having network lag, about 5%. Oof. Okay, our chicken stock is melted. I don't need to reduce this. Over on the stove. Moving the stock out of this pan because this is the pan I'm going to make the polenta in, but I want to add the stock into the polenta, so not the other way around. Want to sort of like some like rice pilaf. I don't know if many people know rice pilaf. You actually sort of saute the rice before you cook it, versus just boiling the rice, which most recipes is what happens. And so in this case, we're actually going to do a little bit of a light cook on the polenta as we add liquid into it. And I'm also going to add liquid gradually, sort of like a risotto. Keep stirring, keeping it from sticking in the pot. You don't have to super watch on it, though. And by the way, chat, if you want an easy hack for making risotto, just buy a small little pressure cooker. You don't need to stir it for forever. You just put it in a pressure cooker. Yeah, network lag looks like it's petering out. Yeah, I think it's gone for the moment. But yeah, rice pilaf, instead of, like in many cases, I would suggest to save yourself time, get the water boiling, just toss the rice into the boiling water and go. There's some people that even advocate that you don't even need to measure how much water you have. You can just strain off whatever you don't want. I'm not 100%. That is 100% depending on what type of rice you're doing, but I'm not really advocating that. But you can just throw it in and boil it if you got the right ratio. But when it comes to rice pilaf, what you do is instead you get a pan ripping, you get some oil in the pan, you put the rice in there, you stir it around, you get some real light browning on the uncooked or dry pasta or dry rice, and then you add the right amount of ratio of liquid to that, cover it, bring it to a boil, then let it sit for 10 minutes. One of my AFK commercials is one of theirs. I only really put it in there because it's San Francisco. Most of the other ones have some sort of thing that's like wildly inappropriate from the date they were made, that it's just like, wow. Just differences in culture between then and now. I also got another video, like, I should probably come together with, like, this certainly isn't something I'm going to do on a regular basis, but I think I need to do a Just Chatting stream at some point here, chat, because there is absolutely one video that I want to do and show all my regulars here when I talk about, the differences in how we basically engineered chickens. So we got all that covered. We got that covered. Let's see how the cookies are looking. I think I'm going to take a little bit of 15-minute break actually talking about the AFK, because we are at that point. We need to cook these short ribs for longer. We need to reduce the wine. And everything else, it's actually probably better if it waits until it's a little bit fresher. So the question is, chat, for that 15-minute AFK, do I leave it on the stove, or do I play the old school commercials? Absolutely, Froggy. The very basic part of it is we have had chickens domesticated for a very long time, created essentially. But up until 40s, 50s, 1940s, 1950s, they were purely egg-laying machines. We raised them essentially just for producing eggs. And so, I mean, there was a little bit of chicken meat eating, but they weren't raising them for the meat. They were raising them for the eggs, so they were scrawny, old working hens. Not what you would have any time in modern day. What we have modern day is we created chickens. Old school commercials, awesome. I will take that as the answer. And so all you lovely folks, I'm going to be back here in about 15 minutes. I'll leave you commercials. And we'll get into, I think, making dessert at that point.
If you're a student, a mother active in club work, a man who brings work home from the office, this was made for you. The Remington Office Writer, a new kind of portable designed to give you the extra features you need. King-size carriage, so long it can handle a sheet of school notebook paper lengthwise. Look, the Office Writer types nearly the full 11-inch length of the paper, the only portable it can. The Office Writer types up to 10 carbons, so that even the very last copy is easy to read. Cuts clear, clean stencils unlike any ordinary portable. See the exciting new Remington Office Writer at your dealers. The price only $149.50, carrying case slight additional cost. Available after small down payment for only $1.50 a week. Terms payable monthly, including taxes and a small carrying charge.
I'm a guitar and I have strings. I like to play while someone sings. Hi, gang. You recognize this mouse guitar? It's just like the one the Musketeers gave me. And now Mattel toy makers, the people who made my mouse guitar, have a big surprise for you. You can have your very own mouse guitar just like mine. And look, I wrote out all the instructions so you can learn to play the songs we play on the show. Remember, gang, you can now get the mouse guitar wherever toys are sold for only $4. Hey, I almost forgot. Be sure to see the Mouse Guitar Junior, too. Just turn the crank and it plays the Mouseketeer theme song. The Mouseketeer Junior is only $1.80. Be sure to look for this label, gang. You can tell it's Mattel. It's swell.
Hello, may I come in? I am Chef Boyardee. Perhaps you have seen my picture on Chef Boyardee products at your grocer. Today, I want to tell you about a wonderful dinner for three. A dinner that only costs about 15 cents a serving. It's my own Chef Boyardee spaghetti dinner with meat sauce or mushroom sauce. It all comes in one carton. A full half pound of tender, quick-cooking spaghetti, 10 flounces of rich, tasty sauce, and to top it off, a whole can of zippy grated cheese. A wonderful food. So ask your grocer for Chef Boyardee spaghetti dinner with meat or mushroom sauce, won't you? And look for other Chef Boyardee products. They're also delicious, they're also nourishing, and they help keep the cost of your meals down. Chef Boyardee products are at best grocers.
Ask for Chef Boyardee's spaghetti dinner. Only about 15 cents a serving.
Next week, George and Gracie will be brought to you by Carnation.
Hiya, happy boy. Wish you'd been with me today. We saw a great dog show, some beautiful dogs. There was the handsomest poodle, a real beauty, an international champion. His owner gave me some good advice.
There are many dog foods on the market, but the Carnation Company makes the best. It's called Friskies, and it's quality all the way through.
You should have seen the champion collie. He won everything in sight. The handler told me.
A very important part of this champion's diet is meat. That's why we feed him Friskies. The principal ingredient is lean red horse meat, the best you can buy.
So happy, you're getting real quality, and you're going to get your Friskies right now.
Friskies is prepared to the high standards of Carnation Company and guarantees prime-grade nourishment.
When you have a Labatt's, you have an adventure. Canadian Light. That's Labatt's. It's a great new taste in beer. Enjoy import quality at USA prices. Have an adventure. Have a Labatt's.
Daddy! Gee, Mama's counting on that jello cake for Johnny Scout meeting tomorrow. Okay, Daddy. It's so easy to make a cake with Betty Crocker cake mix. I'll make her another one. One cake, devil's food, yellow cake.
It's a good thing her mom's modern. I'm Betty Crocker. With my yellow cake mix, all you do is add water and a couple of fresh eggs. The other ingredients are in the package. Same fine things you'd use right in your own home. You'll get a perfect cake just like this, or write General Mills, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they'll send your money back. A high cake, a light cake, a better tasting cake.
And don't think it isn't. That's why Betty Crocker herself says,
I guarantee a perfect cake every time you bake, cake after cake after cake.
Something new has been added. The General Electric portable mixer now has a drink mixer for delicious shakes and juice drinks in quicker than a shake. An extra attachment at no extra cost. This GE portable mixer weighs less than 3 pounds, yet it's powerful enough to blend the heaviest batter. Also mixes sauces at the range. It has low speed for cookie dough, medium speed for beating frostings, and high speed for whipping egg whites. And look, this handy push button releases the beaters at a touch. And no dangling cord. You can remove the cord so it stores neatly on the wall. Comes in 4 decorator colors. See it at your GE dealers. Does any mixing job anywhere.
Hey, kids, look what's new. A brand new cereal just for you. Twinkles, the new star-shaped cereal in the storybook package. See? Inside, delicious, crispy, crinkly stars. And outside, a real storybook. All about Twinkles, the magic elephant. See him fly with his rotor tail. Watch him do tricks with his magic trunk. Meet Twinkle's friends. Fulton the inventor, Sanford the parrot, Wilbur the monkey, and more. Read all about their adventures on every storybook package of Twinkle's. And wait till you taste those golden little stars, filled with the goodness of energy oats and corn. Remember, only Twinkle's has the storybook package. Just tear the magic line, and your storybook opens. Twinkle's, the new star-shaped cereal in the storybook package.
Say, do you remember this old milk glass satin hen? Well, you know, milk glass was an early American favorite. And when the folks in the old days wanted something really delightful, they'd take one of their milk glass goblets and pour some very fine wine right into it. Well, now, you know, it's Welch's wine that is keeping this wonderful tradition alive. A real wine for folks who really want the best. Yes, today's answer to this age-old family tradition is Welch's family wine, the answer to warm hospitality and really gracious living, and the wine that so many Americans enjoy these wintry days. You know, there is very good reason for this ever-increasing popularity of Welch's wine. Now, you folks know that all sweet Concord kosher wines are made from grape juice. And everybody knows who has been making the very finest grape juice for the past 85 years. Welch's, of course. And the only kosher wine made from Welch's grape juice is naturally Welch's kosher wine. Now, when you want the best in grape juice, you buy Welch's. So, doesn't it make sense, then, if you want the best and most delicious kosher wine, you insist on Welch's family wine? You get several bottles tomorrow. Try the half-gallon size. You enjoy the wine of all occasions. That's right, when it comes to wine, you'll do well to insist on Welch's.
Univac, the giant electronic brain made only by Remington Rand, takes business statistics from magnetic tape, letters, numbers, and punctuation marks, processing them through its electronic circuits at phenomenal speeds. Univac can compute payrolls electronically, then produce printed checks in a flash. Over 8,000 checks an hour with this high-speed printer. Univac leads the field of electronic computing.
Satisfying cups of pleasure. A coffee break makes the moment right. Fresh aroma, friendly flavor. Make it coffee, make it often, make it right.
To brighten any moment.
Make it coffee.
To enjoy that fresh aroma.
Make it often.
Make it up fresh each time in a clean container. And for full flavor,
make it right.
And here's how. For each cup of fresh drawn water, use one approved measure of your favorite coffee. That's all, one approved measure per cup.
Satisfying cups of pleasure. A coffee break makes the moment bright, fresh aroma, friendly flavor. Make it coffee, make it often, make it right.
If you've ever been to Venice, you remember the gondolas and the picturesque waterways. And you remember the food, too. Superb food, prepared with that very special Italian touch. The same special Italian touch that Chef Boyardee sauce with meat can give to your meals over here. Because the recipe for this tangy sauce has been brought over from Italy by this famous Italian chef. Chef Boyardee sauce with meat is made from juicy, sun-ripened tomatoes and tender, quality beef, simmered in a spicy sauce that makes a rice and cheese loaf, a casserole, or a spaghetti dish a real Italian-style dish. So when you'd like to add that special Italian touch to your dinner, do it with Chef Boyardee sauce with meat. Try Chef Boyardee sauce with mushrooms, too. Both are prepared from the chef's own Italian recipe.
There's no other box of facial tissues like this. Scotty's new Magic Oval box. Only Scotty's give you tissues that float up gently, one at a time, and come out in neat handfuls, too, because there's a Magic Oval inside every new Scotty's box. Only Scotty's Magic Oval can give you tissues that float up, smooth and easy. No tugging, no tearing, no extra tissues tagging along. And Scotty's Magic Oval does even more. It lets you reach in for tissues by the handful, all neatly folded, just right for pocket or purse. Scotty's new Magic Oval box is pretty too. And inside, soft, strong, sneeze-proof Scotties. Remember, for tissues that float up smoothly and come out in neatly folded handfuls, look for Scotty's pretty new Magic Oval box, the only one of its kind.
Hey, new Kellogg's OKs. Note the improvement? They put a bear on the box, which improved it so much, they decided to improve the cereal, too.
Oh, come on, Yogi. Let's be serious about Kellogg's new OKs, okay?
Like the Space Bears say, hey, okay.
Well, first, how nutritious are Kellogg's new OKs? Well, they're made from oats. And of all grains, oats are the richest in proteins and rich in other bodybuilding essentials, too. In fact, some people consider it their duty to eat oats. Yogi. But now, with a really delicious oat cereal like Kellogg's OKs around, people can have their oats and enjoy them, too. Especially Kellogg's new OKs. For Kellogg's new OKs are crispier... Cripsier and toastier, and therefore tastier than ever. So for the best in oats, get Kellogg's new OKs.
The one with the bear on the box. Suitable for Freeman.
Here's an amazing free offer for everyone who's overweight. Even if you've tried other methods and failed, you can still lose ugly fat fast. Yes, thousands can tell you that calometric control is the only safe, sure, effective way to reduce. Now, this package contains the Wonder 10-Day Diet that gives you 3 delicious meals a day, plus a bedtime snack, even includes a jog for your willpower. Yet you take only 3 calometric tablets a day. And here's the sensational free offer. A 30-day supply of wonderful calometric tablets. A certified $3.50 value when you buy the regular calometric way to weight control. You save $3.50. Now, that's a $7 value for only $3.50. A 50% saving. And how can you get your free bottle of calometric tablets? Well, just send in this calometric box top with your name and address. Your druggist will give you a postage-paid envelope already addressed to the calometric company. Now, don't lose hope. Lose weight. Get calometric reducing formula at your drugstore. Send the box top in the free postage-paid envelope. Get your $3.50 bottle of calometric tablets free. Don't wait. Act now.
Off into space. Man, that takes real teamwork. And here's a team of junior spacemen with an out-of-this-world breakfast that teams up V8 juice and Cheerios for flavor and energy. What a treat! A flavorful glassful of refreshing V8 juice and Cheerios with power protein, plus vitamin B1 for Go Power. And now, here's a special out-of-this-world free offer. This Moon Rocket Kit, both a toy and an exciting game. First, blast off. It separates in midair and lands 2 spacemen on a moon map. You get this wonderful game only through this free offer. Send your name and address and 1 V8 label plus 1 box top from these specially marked packages of Cheerios, Kix, or Frostios to Moon Rocket Kit, Mount Vernon 10, New York. Get Campbell's V8 cocktail vegetable juice with any one of these Big G cereals.
Hi, chat. Ooh, ice cream. Let me check my earbud is not silenced. Everything is sounding rather quiet at the moment. There, that helps. Okay. I have moved some things around here. I've gotten my cast iron pans and moved them onto the front corner, get them out of the way from everything else happening tonight. I'm going to move this pan down here. I have turned this off. I still want to get a little thicker than that, but we're thick enough that we're almost coating that pan. So we shock that a couple more times with heat, and that'll get us nicely to sort of like candy thickness. Actually, we're going to put this back here for the moment. We're going to swap later. And we're going to start our mushrooms. I'm going to do the onions and the mushroom stems. Zoom left. Sorry, beep. I finished my wine now. I finished my coffee. So, perhaps it's time to pour myself a proper glass of wine. That looks like they could use a rinse out. Do I have my polishing cloth? Hi, Cosmic. I said hello to you, Froggy. Hello, Froggy. Thank you, Justice Tries. Though, let's be honest, Chuck. My affiliate anniversary is really just 7 days after I got here after Mixer, and all the lovely people that I had watching me from Mixer immediately followed me over here, which is very nice of them. Ooh, is there some teams playing that chat love? Alright, that's somewhat cleaned up. I'm trying to smoke out the kitchen here. Arg. Just get in there. Onions. Bit of salt. More network lag. Alright, so we got some onions that we got nicely browning there. I am going to get these ready to go into the pan. I'm going to add more oil because mushrooms love oil. They absorb tons of it because they actually eat it. Now these aren't exactly oyster mushrooms, they're not far off. But they've done studies with oyster mushrooms consuming oils to help with oil spills and contaminated land near oil spills and stuff like that. And they love it. They just give me that oil. Bit more salt. Garlic powder. Black pepper. Pretty sure I've had this Zinfandel before. I've certainly had other Rodney Strong wines. They make a whole bunch of other products too. I'm not 100% with their other products, but their wine's pretty good. As best as we can get with the color of this camera. Like that. That's actually going to be helpful to like a Zinfandel, even though it's not a very old wine. Because Zinfandels, they typically got all sorts of spice going on, and they can use a little opening up. So we have coffee, but I don't think coffee is all we need here. Oh, it's buried. Not the Baileys. Although I should probably toss the Baileys at this point. Not the brandy. The brandy would probably work pretty good. I'm gonna pull up the amaretto. Though they do everything they possibly can to avoid that label of amaretto. Serrano. It's not amaretto, it's Serrano. Thank you, Panda. Oh, we gotta put these back too. I'm going to throw this in the freezer for a moment, along with this. It's base flavoring and what they use to create the alcohol, what they distilled and aged in many cases. I'm not sure if Diastrana it's a little bit more of a marketed, let's push this product, so I doubt it's that. Heat off on this over here. Going to take a spoon off of that and just let that cool down and hang out like that. When I'm ready to do mushrooms, we're actually going to hit that with a touch more oil and some butter. The nice mushrooms, or rather the mushroom tops, and maybe some herbage. Offhand, I want to say they're a bitter almond product, which bitter almonds are bitter. They're not it's not, I say almond and they have some almond-like flavors, but they ain't the normal almonds that you think of. It's a little like a majority of the banana fruit candies. The flavoring is of the bananas that were before my time, much less everyone else's here. So everyone tastes banana candies, and they're like, this doesn't taste like bananas. It tastes good, but it doesn't taste like what I think of bananas, and it's because they're a different type of banana. Going to take this loveliness and put this on the back burner over here. Lovely. I've had several Zinfandels from the same general area. They're all great. They're all very old wines. I don't know the history. I assume that they used to be one vineyard at one point that's been split up now between at least 3 or 4 vineyards that I'm thinking of modern day. Because old vine Zinfandel is old vines. Like, the whole thing with wine in the very beginning of it, like, wine is one of those industries where you start with a big fortune to get a small one. There's a lot of risk involved. There's a lot of, it's something that you don't want to jump into without having stability otherwise. Because when you start a vineyard, assuming that you're starting with new vines, you have 5 years for those vines to really develop to the point that you're actually producing wine that's of proper volume. And then you know, you've spent 5 years on this property, on these vines, and then you get to figure out what you get and market it. So there's tons of places that, you know, we're family vineyards, we're family, you know, and there's a few rare cases where they are, but the vast majority of them, at the very least, have major partners, part owned by one of the big wine groups, or completely owned by one of the wine groups and just not saying that they are. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. Very much so, yeah. However, a lot of it's even consolidated to the point that you see a fair, like, Constellation Group and several others are not just into wine, they're into everything in booze. So, and CBD, and are they in sync, Froggy, hopefully, after resetting? Aww. I don't know how to reset that other than resetting the whole stream. And I have cut back so much since this problem started. I have no idea what is, like... I guess I just have to sit down and rework things. I've been sort of, like, procrastinating and avoiding that. I'm sorry, Kick. I think I'm gonna kick you. Of the three. Maybe that'll help free up a little bit of resources here. Okay. Hopefully that smooths things out a little bit. That's a nice coating of that pan. I think we'll get that one more heat up to bubbles again, and that'll be perfect for coating our plate. We need some water in this pan for our next project. Zoom right. What did I drop? No, you stay up there. I don't know what I dropped, but I dropped something. Bit of sugar. High flame. This might be a little rough on the air drums. I think I'm going to drop the stove microphone so it just comes from my lav microphone. Wait for that to get some proper bubblage. You know, the more you look at it, chat, the less likely it's going to boil, right? Why are you still looking at it, chat? Alright, we've got some decent steam coming off of that now. This boiling a bit hot and back on the short ribs, so we'll turn that down a little bit. The idea here is we're just sort of trying to keep it liquid and pasteurize this egg a bit. Make sure it's cooked through a bit, because otherwise it's going to be completely raw. Main camera. Let this cool down a bit. And in our bowl that's been in the freezer to cool down thoroughly, and our whisk that's also been chilled, we're going to throw a bunch of heavy cream in there. We're going to make some real whipped cream tonight, chat. That would be a silicone-coated balloon whisk, or balloon whip, would be, I think, the proper term. I need a drink after that. The silicone-coated whisks have a very short lifetime because the silicone wears off, and then it's a lovely place you can trap all sorts of lovely things, especially when only like the tip of it has worn off and still like 50% wrapped around, or maybe more, 70% wrapped around the whole thing, collecting all sorts of junk. However, at the same time, when you're doing things like making mayonnaise or things like this where you're doing a lot of heavy whipping, metal on metal is horrible. It'll actually turn, like, they had a term for it when I was in culinary school, calling it granaise, where the beating of the metal, you're actually adding metal particles into it, and it'll actually color it. So this prevents that. But like I said, they don't last very long. Hey, Kip. Adding that cooked egg in with the whipped cream. The one that normally is switched to is this when arm gets going, but I don't know that it really helps me all that much. I think I'd rather just take a moment and let that... My arms have already been like screaming from earlier this week doing yard work. How are we doing on everything back here? Everything back here looking lovely? Yes, it does. For those just joining in, hello. We've got short ribs braising on the back of the stove. We've got onions and mushroom stems sauteed, ready to be finished with the mushroom tops. We've got a Zinfandel wine reduction in back here that we're going to give one last hit of heat to, give a little touch more reduction to it, and then we'll use that for our plate. And we're ready here waiting for our polenta. I'm working on making tiramisu. I started the stream off decorating the cookies that are going to be making my question mark box, the sort of iconic question mark box from Mario Brothers. And this is going to be my cream custard filling for the dessert. I'm debating, do I vanilla this, chat? Hey, Seeks. We amaretto it. Though I'm sort of tempted by Grand Marnier. But we'll... I'm staying with just the amaretto. Yeah. So how are we gonna plate this tonight? Or what am I gonna plate this on tonight? I think they're both gonna go on these. Good stuff. Scissors. Oops, sorry. Forgot to turn you off. Number one ladyfinger in Italy. I'm sure no one else makes that claim. I really don't know, but... one of these might be sufficient for this project. So we have our pre-made lady fingers. We have our Diasaronno and coffee mixture over here. Make sure and give that a good dunk. Rinse, repeat. I think we're going to go 4 deep here. And I'm constructing this on the plate, which I've already got drips all over the plate. Restaurant without question has got this pre-made, probably sitting in a refrigerator, and just scoop, put on the plate, out. We can use this. I don't know how much trust I have in this thing standing. We'll see. You can, I don't know, I might get... It just sort of sounds inappropriate. It's the last lady finger of this project. Alright, so now we got our ladyfinger tower. Okay, this is going into the freezer like that. In hopes that will solidify a touch. There's still two finishing touches there. We have the final cookie to put on the top, along with a dusting of cocoa. They're currently set that the bot detects whenever someone new comes in. I'm not 100% if it's a new user that it hasn't seen before, or just someone new for the day for this stream, and plays them. It also plays them whenever there's any other sort of major interaction with the stream. Okay, over here, we're going to start making our polenta. Oh, way to go, Jay. Nice tight tie on that. So doing half cup here of polenta, which is somewhat coarse grind of cornmeal. Heating the pan. Thin pan, this won't take long to heat up compared to my cast irons. You can see that oil's already flowing just as I touched it. Yeah, there you got the, I don't know what the term is for that, but you can see the waves or ripples in the oil showing that it's nice and hot. Polenta or cornmeal. And like I said, we're going to give this sort of like a quick saute with that oil before we start adding liquid in here. Just toss whatever's left in the, maybe a bit too much, but toss some salt in there. You're going to be surprised, chat. We're going to use that whole thing of chicken stock and maybe some extra water in order to do that half cup of polenta. This is going to easily turn into, I would say easily turn into 3 cups from that half cup. At least 2.5. I actually really need to update that. I haven't added stuff to that in probably 6 months. Alright, I'm smelling a nice corn smell now. So I'm going to add a decent amount of liquid in here. And then just like risotto, I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. We're going to go medium, maybe medium to medium high flame there. Let that boil, let that absorb, add more stock, let that boil, let it absorb, more stock, boil, absorb, rinse, repeat. And I need a container for this because Hillshire polenta. Hey, we made it to 7, chat. We've gotten our 4 hours on there. More stock. I think I'm going to differ from the question box. It's questionable if this is even going to hold up for being a photo at this point. But welcome, El Capitano. I'm thinking I'm going to do a cocoa top, which is the sort of like traditional top to a tiramisu, versus they have like a piped, some of the same like cream piped on the top. What do you think, chat? I think I'm gonna go with the cocoa, regardless of what you say, chat, but I'd like to hear what you think. We're gonna ditch the last of that coffee that we used for soaking the lady fingers. It may not show up if you're on mobile or on TV, but if you're on a web browser, it's all over the text window. Important to stay hydrated when you're drinking. Help out your liver a little bit, chat. There's been, within inflation prices and food, there's been a trend of people posting, complaining about how much money they're spending on groceries and that, which they've gone up a lot. But regardless of that, there was a recent one about someone posting like $400 from a single trip to the store, and the vast majority of it were all like $2 to $3 purchases. I'm sitting here making this risotto thinking, this person's making the wrong $2 to $3 purchases to feed a multi-person family. Because this is... There's so many things you can fill people up on. They don't just all have to be pre-made, pre-packaged, individual, filled of pre-processed junk, or ultra-processed junk. I haven't had any bitrate issues. The kitchen, I'm not streaming, and vice versa, but I don't like... I have a chair over there. It's my old desk chair that's broken from my main desk, and so I can sit down here and get to work, but it's not very comfortable, and it's not... Yeah, it's not my normal working environment, and I need to do that. Beyond that, some of it is my ISP without question. I've been having network issues. I think that's because I have a neighbor that thinks they're... Well, I have a new streaming neighbor. And by streaming neighbor, I mean physically, like, within the same block, on the same local network, like the same local node of my ISP network, most likely. And like I said just the other day, I did see trucks both working on fiber rollouts. I said I was going to add a touch of beef to this to give it a little bit of that farmhouse-like flavor, since we're using chicken stock primarily with a... Ooh. Ozzy. Thank you, Ozzy, for that resub. Ozzy, what? Later this month, like in 2 weeks or so, what type of sangria should I make? Mix in this beef consomme, or beef bouillon, into this. Are we going to go white wine, rosé, red port. We've got bourbon, we've got whiskey, we've got port, we've got the summer fruity light ones, we got green tea. The port one got a really fast push. We had a 5 gifty go all for port. After that, it was the first couple of days. We got a 5 gifty, which was awesome. Thank you. And since then, pretty much everything else has been trying to catch up. Pomegranate citrus. Nice. Thank you, Ozzy. Main camera. Just in prep with the onions and mushroom stems. Touch more oil in the pan, and I'm gonna grab a slab of butter here and throw that in there. I gotta be honest, chat. I think I like all of them. Perhaps my least favorite, and sorry, it's perhaps one of the least voted, is the green tea honey. Awesome, Zeeks. Thanks for stopping by. I have so many restaurant ideas kicking around in my head at this point. And I mean, not just in my head either. Like, drawn out, budgeted out. Like, just waiting to find the perfect place for it. Thank you, Ozzy. Happy death of Mixer. Can someone redeem that? I miss it. No sticky. Stop sticky. Quit that sticky, polenta. Off the bottom. Last of our stock in there. So we have our goat cheese for in our polenta. Over on the stove. I gotta cook with polenta more often, chat. Like, it's just so versatile. Not even just this way, but you can take this, once you're done cooking it, once it's done fully absorbed and it's done all the good stuff, you can then pour that into a pan, refrigerate it, and then typically you can slice that and like saute it and use it as like cakes and like there's all sorts of stuff you can do with polenta. And it's so cheap. Keep thinking back to that dude complaining about his $400 grocery bill. Like, it even got me to the point where I was sitting there a little while ago thinking about, maybe I should get into doing a bit more of that, but, like, most of the stuff that I would do to cut costs at the grocery or to teach people to cut costs at the grocery would be involving using larger project meals than I even make now, where I would be doing less than 4 nights a week. Oh, absolutely, JK. There's another one that I saw from the UK that some lady was boasting what she got for $100 at the grocery in the UK. And it was just such a bold lie. Like, there was easily $75 just in meat, much less everything else that she had in that. Like, it was what I would say conservatively a $300 bill, and she's like, I got all this for less than $100. The only way I could ever see that happening is them being one of those extreme, like, couponers, which I don't even think that really exists anymore. That was sort of a fad, like, I want to say, like, early 2000s. Everyone was like, I can fill my garage with stuff at, like, next to nothing. But, like, her purchases were not that, like, typically those people are buying a ton of a whole bunch of things, but they're, like, a whole bunch of one thing and a whole bunch of another thing. She bought, like, the store out. Turn the heat up on this a little bit. I turned the stove mic off. Can't hear me, Ozzy? I'm here, Ozzy. I'm here, chat. This handle is very warm, so I'm trying to cool it down with my hand. And heat that port reduction down one last time. This is the most plate dressing I've done in a while, chat. Like, there's a number of streamers that use all sorts of, like, cake tools and stuff like that to make pretty patterns of sauces on plates and all that. People were asking me the other day what things that I could do with that. That's another one. Like these sauces that are like painted on a plate or extremely thin. There's a few rare cases where I could see that being awesome, but in the vast majority of them, just either sauce when I'm eating or don't bother. That happens a lot in desserts too. Like it seems to be a thing with desserts where they'll, do some like squiggle. Like there's one on the question mark box at the restaurant. I'm not doing it for mine, but there's like a squiggle of raspberry sauce, which makes no sense for a tiramisu, other than it might somewhat match. But a tiramisu is all about the espresso, or in my case, the coffee. Heat off on our polenta now. Heat off on our wine reduction back here too. Heat onto our mushrooms and onions. Black pepper in with the polenta. We put too much salt in there earlier, so I'm not adding more. Cheap Parmesan that I really shouldn't have bought. I'm trying to use up. Yeah, Ozzy, we've talked about that already tonight. I wish I could. I've already reset stream once, and yeah, I basically apparently have to go through and redo everything again in order to get them to stop using all of my computer resources, or it's also the network too, without question. Adding the mushrooms in. And we'll add our goat cheese in there. Heat off on everything here. Mushrooms are good. Beef is done as we're getting it. Alright, I think this could have turned out better. But for a first time try without having an exact recipe and me just winging most of it, I think that turned out damn good. I bought the ladyfingers instead of making ones perfectly the right size for my squares. My squares weren't all perfectly the size like they would if they were doing tons of them at once. As always, I could have improved many different ways, but I still think that's going to be delicious. As to the way it's presented in the actual restaurant, this one is just sort of a plain one. I don't think it has a question mark on it. I think it's just plain. And then it's lifted up with a whole bunch of extra cream in here, which this wasn't going to hold together with a whole bunch of extra cream, but I would love to throw a whole bunch of extra cream in there. Who doesn't love extra cream in there? But anyways, and then there's a white chocolate medallion with the printed pattern on it. I want this to be just stiff enough that it holds in place. So still a little bit loose for that. The chef of the restaurant for this recommends actually using the cookies, or in the case of the restaurant, they're shortbread cookies. They're not the sugar cookies with icing like mine. And they're also like either dyed or stamped with the logos on them, so it's almost like infused into shortbread. So I turn the heat back on polenta here because we need this to be a bit thicker. I hope we won't break our cheeses doing this. Zoom right. We need you a bit thicker, polenta. So chat, I never played Wordle before until like maybe 3 weeks ago, and I'm like completely hooked now. Like, it's been a minute, but I could add more cheese to it to thicken it up, but there's lots of cheese in there already. I think you have to download the app, but otherwise it's free with the New York Times. Froggy. We need this like mashed potato thickness here, chat. It's getting closer, but it's still not quite there. And if you're wondering why I'm stirring it, it's because it helps the evaporation, incorporation of air, cooling it down so it thickens. Sort of funny how mechanical manipulation, you know, either crushing something and mixing it up can warm it up and loosen it up, but it can also help evaporation and thicken things and cool things down quicker. Though at the same time, I've made the pledge to never use the starting words that like everyone else in the brother uses. Like there's a couple of them like adieu and I'm forgetting other ones, but that are just like great combos for narrowing everything down immediately. Ugh, dad joke. Ugh. Ugh. A couple days late for the 4th of July eating contest, so. Anyone in chat, fans of doing eating contests or anything along that line? Anyone go out and do the eat this in so many minutes and it's free thing for a free meal? Or... I don't even know where any of them are, but it seems like at least at one point they were all over the place. I would think nowadays they've probably not as many places having the specials and stuff like that, but I could be wrong. It's great marketing, especially if they sit there and film it and put it on their social media and all that. It's like there used to be a fish and chips guy here in Sonoma County. I don't know if he's still around or not. I think he switched to hot dogs, but he used to have give people $1 off or something like that if they made a fish face for him to take a photo of for online. Some of those heat challenges are just, well, like most certainly in the territory of hot to be hot and not necessarily hot to be enjoyed. It's still a bit thinner than I want. I think I'm going to try and add a bit more goat cheese in here. Goat cheese. Oh, thank you for the raid. Welcome, raiders. I'm actually just plating up here, folks. Welcome in, everyone. Hi, I'm Chef JT. I cook here on stream 4 nights a week. This week I've been imitating foods just on my own. I decided to do this on my own. To imitate a fair number of the dishes that are served at Toadstool Cafe, which is a Mario Brothers themed restaurant in several theme parks. And so we have the question mark box tiramisu. Thank you for the affiliate anniversary. Cheers. Although in reality it's a little bit more Death of Mixer celebration, as I was formerly a Mixer streamer. Got some nice old Vine Zinfandel here that I'm sipping on. Where are we coming from, Raiders? What was the stream of the night? What was Mish up to tonight? Okay, I think we're finally good enough here that I'm going to try and plate this. So we have sauteed mushrooms and onion. Ooh, that one lost a bone. That one wants to. So if you're just joining in, these are short ribs that have been braising after being marinated and have been braising for a little over 4 hours. And then to make this dish somewhat reminiscent of Toad's cap, we have our wine reduction, which is going to need a little bit of spreading love in order to coat the plate here. Ugh. Okay, that was a mess. That is a mess. Thank you for the follow, Mishmish. Thank you for the raid. Okay, so that is a mess. It's gonna be absolutely fucking delicious, though. And at this point, it looks a bit like a murder scene. Let's see if I can successfully do a little of this type of action. Not happy, chat. Not happy. Not happy. My tummy is going to be happy. But compared to what I was visualizing was going to occur tonight and what I had planned and worked towards, disappointed tonight, chat. Well, I think you can see we're good there. I'm mostly worried about the wine reduction. I'm sort of upset that that didn't, one, coat the plate better, and two, didn't look like a murder scene. For those just joining in or unfamiliar, these are two dishes from Toadstool Cafe, which is a Mario Brothers themed restaurant in several theme parks. So we have tiramisu, designed to look like the question mark box that you get all your goodies from in Mario Brothers. And over here, this is Chef Toad's short rib special with the cheese and the wine reduction, making the whole thing sort of supposed to look somewhat like the red and white mushroom cap of Toad. I think I was much happier with the rest of the week. I think the rest of the week turned out much better. Last Friday's dinner was amazing. That turned out so well. Both the meatball and the spaghetti, just yummy. Gonna be back here tomorrow night, as usual, or at least as has been usual this summer. I've switched from doing Tuesdays to Mondays this summer. I'm gonna be doing, I think I put on the menu, we're gonna be doing salmon patty burgers for Monday night. Try and keep things a little bit on the healthier side for weekdays. We got the ingredient challenge, as always, going on in the Discord. You can have your vote in there before we'll do the final tally tomorrow night on stream. See what I have to do for dinner and dessert on Wednesday. Let's see, what do we got? We've got grits versus onion. So I'm either going to have to make dinner and dessert using onion or grits. I'm going to go and enjoy dinner. Thank you all for joining me tonight. And yeah, I hope you had an amazing weekend. I wish the best of the new week to you. Have a great night, everyone. Good night. I'll wait for it to sync up. I'll try my tiramisu here. The chef of the restaurant actually recommends you use the cookies as sort of like a building block. You can see those ladyfingers have next to no structure anymore. My fork went straight through them. That's quite delicious. I know you can't see me eating that, but I'm quite happy with the tiramisu, chat, even though it means I'm probably going to be up until like 3 a.m. tonight. Let me know when we're getting close to catched up here, Jake. We don't need all my eating. Yeah, that's delicious. Oh, Hedda, just try it again with as a second text line. Just type label now. All right, folks, once again, wishing you the best of a new week. Have a great night, everyone. Good night.